Hey guys, so I'm here with another video, and today I thought I'd talk about how I choose my colours when I'm colouring. I'm deciding to do a page. I've picked out a selection to show you, to try and give you a bit of an idea of what I go with and how I not just pick my colours, but how I sometimes go for combinations that don't necessarily seem like they would work, but they do. So I've picked out a couple. This I thought would be a good one to start with. This is by Christine Karen. This is the freebie she gave us when she hit, 5,000 followers on Facebook. I can't quite remember the exact numbers. But I think it's a really good example of how I love limited colour palettes. If you look at this, she has purple hair. I used purple on the muffin case. I used purple down here on the border. Then there's pink. Her top is pink. Lips, eyeshadow, and a little bit of pastel in the background, also pink. The pink, of course, is a shade, it's not a colour. Pink is red with white. So cherry is red. Her eyes then are brown. This cupcake is like a reddish brown. And the only other colour is the yellow, which is also highlighted in her hair and a little bit in the icing. So if you look at that, we have red, pink, purple, yellow, brown. Now, yellow and brown are both very similar. Pink is not a colour, it's a tone, it's a shade of red. So if you actually look at that, really, you've only got yellow, red, and purple. So really, there's only about 3 colours on this. And that is how I love doing my pages, with as few colours as possible. The more limited a palette you use, the more cohesive the image. My next example is this PDF by Mariola Budek that I did. This is done almost exclusively in Derwent Lightfast with some luminance. Now look at this. We have blue, we have black, we have brown, and then we have the skin tone. Look how few colours there are on this page. I mean, technically white and black aren't even colours, but I won't go into that. If you look, the brown off-white of the skull is matched by the teeth of the wolf. These sort of reds and browns in the mouth, more or less very similar to the skin tone. The blue is on the metal here, and her eyes are also blue. Her hair is black with blue highlights. The wolf is black and grey. I even gave her black lipstick. There are so few colours on this. And that makes it sort of cohesive. I wanted her to be the wolf, and I wanted the wolf to be her. They're like a reflection of one another. And that's what I went with when I did this page. So that gives you a bit of an idea on those 2 PDFs. But of course, these 2 PDFs are just quite simple portraits. What happens when you have a busier colouring page? I have this page. This is the first Jasmine Becker Griffith I ever cut. It's called Poppy Magic. It's from her first book. This one. When I saw this page, it immediately made me think of, a daisy. Better not hit the camera. Sorry about that. It immediately made me think of the monarch butterfly. And the monarch butterfly has red, orange wings with this black outline and bits of white. So, and if you look at this page, look at her. She's literally red, orange, and yellow. Orange is just a tone of yellow. When you mix yellow and red, you get orange. And then there's the black, which then I use for her dress. And you can see the dark brown in the poppies. It's all balanced. There's red everywhere. There's orange everywhere. And there's yellow everywhere. Everything is balanced. And then there's a few other tones, but look, there's brown here, brown here, brown here. And that's another trick. When you're introducing a colour, do not use it in just one spot. Unless you want that spot to be the focal point. If you want it to be a focal point, use that colour solely there. But if you want to balance your colours, use it in at least 3 different places. And that's how you end up with something more cohesive. And this was done in all pencil on a bit of Posca. It's one of my first pages. It took me ages to blend out all that background. Okay, what about an even more complicated page? This Colouring Heaven Costumes, one of my favourite collections by them. This is the Mexican girl. Now, for this girl, I looked at reference photos to make it as accurate as possible. And if we take a look at this, that sort of rule of 3 colour places sort of applies. She has an orange belt, orange flowers, and then I did an orange background. There's orange, sort of an orange yellow on the tiles. The floor is a kind of orange. There's the terracotta pot. They're all shades of orange throughout the image. The blue contrasts a lot with the black because black naturally reflects blue. There's green in the leaves, green on her dress, green on the tiles, a lighter green on the cactus. Yes, they are different greens, but they are all green. And that's another thing. Just rather than look for new colours, look for just a different tone of a colour you've already used. I've got sort of 3 shades of blue on here. I have the different shades of orange. And so the one thing you don't have to balance really is the skin tone. Skin tones are skin tones. They're always going to be a focal point on a page with a person in it. So don't worry about those. Okay. I have another example. This is from the Jasmine Beck Griffith Halloween. This one's called Autumn. And let me tell you, I used over 60 pencils on this page. But look at what I've done. There aren't that many colours on this page in reality. There are sort of blacks and greys here and here. And the shadows are quite sort of grey. There are oranges. Again, there's different shades of oranges. There's bright orange where the sun is hitting. There's a deeper pumpkin orange. There's a different orange then on the butterflies. There are yellows. Bright yellows, again, where the sun is hitting. Yellowy greens. Yellow on her skin, in her hair. There are reds, again, different tones of reds. And red, yellow and orange, they're all so similar that they will always work together on the page. So this is basically, it's a continuation of this page. Red, yellow, orange. Here we have some greens and blues added. It's a complex page and it has a lot of colours. But it's mainly different tones of the same colours. To not overcomplicate things. The final example I've pulled out is this cute Hannah Lynn that I did. This is the Sphinx Girl. And I picked this page in particular because it's a really busy page. There's lots of details on here. But if we take a look, there's lots of browns, you'll immediately notice. She has a brown tan skin. Her lion's tail and her wings are brown. Parts of her costume are brown. And then those brown tones are picked up in the gold and in the bronze and in the background as well. There are reds. Again, I've tried to balance the red as many places as possible. And the red is picked up, it's sort of an orange and pinks again, shades and tones of red, and in bronze here and in the bricks there. Then there are lots of blues. There's this deep blue, which is everywhere. And then there's a turquoise. Again, it's the same, it's still a blue. It's just a green blue. And it's adding a different tone, but not introducing a different colour. So albeit this page is very busy and there's a lot of details on here, I haven't used a ton of colours. I've just used a lot of different tones. So in all of these pages that I've shown you, the way I like to colour is not with lots of colours. It's with lots of tones of the same colour. You know, I've even coloured monochrome. And that's just shades of grey and black and white. And it just proves even complex colouring pages like this don't need really busy colour palettes. You can do that if you love your bright colours, if you love complex colour palettes, do it by all means. But this is how I pick my colours, and I like using just different tones of the same colours and limited palettes. That's my colouring style. It's what I've developed. It's what I like. And even if you do like using lots of colours, challenge yourself, test yourself, do a page using only 2 or 3 different colours and then just use different tones of those colours. So like with purple, you've got bright purples, you've got violet purples, you've got pinks, and you've got really light pinks. Do a page like that. With blues, you've got deep dark blues, you've got sapphires, you've got light sky blues. Do a page like that. Another thing that I haven't touched upon yet, but part of colour theory, is the complementary colours on the colour wheel. So, on the colour wheel, orange is the complementary of blue. So you can see why the bronze and the blue work quite nicely. Green is the complementary of red. Here, you have the green next to the red. The complementary of yellow is purple. That's why I use yellow on this page, because yellow and purple are complementary. And if you look at the colour wheel, if you look at the complementary colours, they will help you with a page, because the complementary colours, they are meant to work together. So if you have them both on a page, you will naturally make that page look more vibrant, because the complementary colours bring out the best in each other. And then there are some colours, like up here, black and white go with practically every colour. So you don't really have to worry about balancing those. Just pick a colour you want. Like I did here, I used blue with the black, and blue and black look beautiful together. But so do green and black, purple and black. That is practically limitless. And when you're doing your shading and your shadows, you can also use the complementaries to shade one another. Not that I did it here, but technically purple will shade yellow. You have to use a very light hand, but you can shade it with yellow. If you want to make a blue look darker, you can shade it with orange. And a lot of the time when I'm doing my shadows, I use a blue, not a black, because shadows naturally have some kind of colour. But I think that's another video I'm going to do on how shadows have colour. But this is just how I pick my colours. And I really hope it was helpful, just to see how I do it. This isn't how everybody does it. And I'm not saying that you should do it my way. I'm not. I definitely think it's always worth giving a limited colour palette a try, but every colourist has their own style, and that's what's so beautiful. But this is hopefully going to be helpful for perhaps people who find it difficult to choose colours. I know it is. When you look at a blank white page, it is. It's scary thinking, well, how am I going to colour this? Look at reference photos. Look at just colour palette inspirations on Pinterest, places like that. And then just try it. If you've got any questions, leave them down below in the comments, and I will try and get back to you about colour. I've done art for a long time. I know colour theory really well. If you want not an art colour theory, but colourist colour theory, I really recommend Jennifer Zimmerman's Secrets of Colouring books, because she goes over just enough colouring theory for colourists. I think they're really helpful. But that is basically the video. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, leave them down below. If you like the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.